All right, so are you ready to dive into a real mystery?
Always.
Today, we're headed to Minnesota.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and we're going to be hot on the trail of a legend,
Okay.
Bigfoot.
All right.
Our listeners wanted to explore, like, the historical and mysterious side of Minnesota.
Right.
And, well, this is it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more intriguing than this.
It really doesn't.
We've been digging through articles, news clips, even found a bit from Animal Planet's Finding Bigfoot.
Oh, wow.
And they all point to a story that's been unfolding for generations.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. What's captivating about this whole deep dive, though,
Yeah.
is that we're not just asking, like, does Bigfoot exist?
Right.
We're looking at how this legend has shaped a whole town,
Yeah.
fueled tourism, even sparked some pretty serious scientific investigation.
It's amazing how a legend can do that.
It really is.
Yeah.
So before we get lost in the woods,
Oh.
let's start with the roots.
Mm-hmm.
What we found is that Bigfoot isn't some, like, recent fad in Minnesota.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Long before settlers arrived, indigenous tales spoke of a wild man or a wood giant
Wow.
lurking in the wilderness.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Like, these weren't just spooky campfire stories either.
Right.
These tales, they were woven into the fabric of indigenous cultures,
Mm-hmm.
revealing a deep respect and sometimes fear
Yeah.
of the natural world. They weren't just trying to explain a creature.
Right.
They were trying to understand, like, the power and mystery of the wilderness itself.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So now let's fast forward to the 1950s and 60s. Think poodle skirts, rock and roll,
Oh, okay.
and Bigfoot fever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, remember that famous Patterson-Gimlin film?
Oh, yeah, of course.
It sparked a nationwide obsession, and Minnesota was right in the thick of it.
Wow.
And sightings started popping up all over the state, adding fuel to the fire of this growing legend.
I bet.
Oh, yeah.
So then what happened next?
Well, and then there's that image from 2009.
What?
This trail camera near Remer, Minnesota,
Okay.
captures a blurry figure,
Mm-hmm.
a shape in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And it sent shivers down spines and turned Remer into, get this, the home of Bigfoot.
Oh, way.
Oh, yeah. Complete with a yearly festival that celebrates the legend.
That's so cool.
I mean, can you imagine a whole festival
That's wild.
dedicated to Bigfoot? That's
Yeah.
how deeply this legend has become, like, embedded in the culture of this place.
Absolutely. And what's remarkable is how it has brought people together.
It really has.
You have folks who just love the thrill of the mystery,
Right.
alongside serious researchers who are trying to apply scientific methods to
Mhm.
understand this phenomenon.
Exactly. So speaking of researchers,
Yeah.
let's talk geography for a second. Our sources point to some Bigfoot hotspots in Minnesota.
Okay.
St. Louis County is leading the pack in terms of sightings,
Wow.
followed by Cass County and the Bemidji area. I'm getting chills just thinking about venturing into those dense forests,
Oh, yeah.
wondering if you're being watched.
And that feeling of being watched
Yeah.
is something you hear a lot from people who live in these remote areas.
I bet.
It adds another layer of mystique to the landscape.
Totally.
Almost like the legend itself is woven into the very air.
So we've got these spooky forests,
Mm-hmm.
a town that throws a Bigfoot party every year. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement.
Right.
But what about the skeptics?
Well, some people argue that it's all just misidentified animals, tricks of the light, or
Yeah.
good old-fashioned storytelling.
Yeah.
But then you have groups like the Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team,
Oh, yeah, the MNBRT.
the MNBRT, exactly,
Yeah.
who are taking a more scientific approach.
Right. So they're not just running around in the woods yelling, Bigfoot, where are you?
Right, exactly. They're collecting footprint casts, analyzing hair samples,
Wow.
conducting nighttime observations,
Wow.
all in pursuit of hard evidence.
Okay, so they're trying to bridge the gap between, like, folklore and scientific inquiry,
Exactly.
which is no easy feat.
It's really not. But it's that dedication to finding answers that makes this whole thing so intriguing. They're not just dismissing the legend.
Right.
They're taking it seriously enough to investigate it with scientific methods.
It's like they're saying, okay, we have this captivating legend. Let's see if we can separate fact from fiction.
Exactly.
And that's what we're doing here, too.
Yeah.
We're digging deeper, looking at the evidence, and exploring the impact this legend has had on the people and culture of Minnesota.
And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. It's not just about finding a creature in the woods.
Yeah.
It's about understanding a cultural phenomenon that has captivated people for generations.
Right.
It's about our relationship with the unknown, our fascination with the wild, and our desire to believe in something beyond the ordinary.
Okay, I am officially hooked. Now let's get to the good stuff. I want to hear about these encounters, these sightings, the stories that have kept this legend alive for so long.
Okay, let's do it. Welcome back to our deep dive into Minnesota's Bigfoot mystery.
You know, it's amazing how a legend can take root and grow.
Right.
Almost becoming part of the landscape itself.
Exactly. And in Minnesota, those roots run deep.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those hotspot counties we mentioned?
Uh-huh.
Well, each one has its share of chilling tales and intriguing evidence.
Let's start with St. Louis County. It's the leader in Bigfoot sightings, and it's easy to see why, right?
Yeah, totally.
Dense forests, remote areas,
Mm-hmm.
and plenty of places for a creature to hide.
What's eerie is that many people who live in the more isolated parts of St. Louis County talk about a feeling of being watched.
Right.
Like something unseen is lurking just beyond the trees.
Yeah, it's like the legend itself haunts the place. But St. Louis County isn't the only place with a Bigfoot connection.
No, not at all.
Cass County, especially around the Bemidji area, has also had its share of encounters.
One particularly interesting report surfaced just this year, 2023.
Oh, wow, really?
2 hunters near Bemidji claimed to have come face to face with a towering creature covered in dark fur.
Wow.
They weren't able to get a photo, but their description was vivid.
Oh.
They even mentioned a foul, compost-like odor in the area.
Hold on, a compost-like smell.
I know, right?
That's a new one.
It is, and it's a detail that often pops up in Bigfoot lore.
Yeah.
Some researchers believe it's linked to the creature's diet or habitat.
Interesting.
It's just one more piece of the puzzle that makes this mystery so captivating.
Okay, now I have to ask.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Reamer and its Bigfoot Days Festival?
Oh, yeah.
It's more than just a tourist trap, right?
That's for sure.
It's like this whole town has embraced the legend.
It really is a testament to how a legend can become woven into the very fabric of a town.
Yeah.
Local businesses get in on the fun, offering Bigfoot-themed treats and souvenirs.
Oh, wow.
You can even grab a Bigfoot burger at the Woodsman Cafe.
Now that's my kind of research. But Bigfoot Days isn't just about fun and games. The Minnesota Bigfoot Research Team, the MNBRT, often attends the festival.
Right.
Sharing their findings and keeping the spirit of scientific inquiry alive.
They hold, like, town hall-style meetings.
Oh, cool.
Giving people a chance to share their own stories and encounters.
Wow, so they're going straight to the source.
Exactly.
Hearing from the people who live and breathe this legend every day.
Exactly. And it's not just anecdotal evidence thereafter.
Okay.
The MNBRT has gathered some pretty compelling physical evidence over the years.
Oh, really?
They've documented countless footprints, some of which are simply too large to be human.
Wow.
They've also collected hair samples and recorded strange vocalizations, all in an effort to analyze potential Bigfoot activity.
So we've got these massive footprints, mysterious sounds, and people who swear they've seen this creature with their own eyes.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel like there might be something to this, right?
It's certainly intriguing, but it's important to note that definitive proof remains elusive. The MNBRT's work, though, is a vital step in bridging the gap between folklore and scientific investigation.
Yeah.
They're not just dismissing the legend as pure fantasy. They're applying scientific rigor to see what they can uncover.
You know, it's funny. A lot of these sightings happen around lakes and rivers.
Right.
You'd think a creature that large would be hard to miss.
That's a good point. Maybe those watery environments provide a level of camouflage.
Yeah.
Or a way to quickly disappear.
Right.
Think about it. Dense forests, murky waters, and the naturally elusive nature of a creature that may not want to be found.
Yeah.
It's the perfect recipe for mystery and intrigue.
And let's not forget the power of storytelling.
Right.
Remember those indigenous tales of the wild man or wood giant?
Oh, yeah.
Those stories have been passed down for generations, shaping how people view the wilderness.
Those tales weren't just about entertainment. They were a way to explain the unknown, to instill respect for the power of nature, and perhaps even to warn of potential dangers lurking in the shadows.
Right.
It's a reminder that even in our modern world, there are still places where mystery and folklore hold sway.
And that brings us back to Sam Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
That Reamer local featured on Finding Bigfoot. His story wasn't just about a fleeting glimpse.
No.
He described a prolonged encounter, minutes spent observing this creature as it lurked near the water's edge.
Yeah.
What struck me was the level of detail in his account.
Right.
He talked about its size, its color, even its movements.
And then there was that incredible moment when they discovered those underwater tracks the next morning.
Yeah.
It's like something straight out of a detective movie.
It is.
The Finding Bigfoot team was clearly impressed,
Oh, I bet.
pointing out features that they believed couldn't have been faked.
Yeah.
It added a layer of legitimacy to Sam's story, even for the skeptics.
Okay, but what if it's not just one creature we're talking about here? What if there's a whole population of these beings living in secret, hidden from our view?
That's a fascinating thought.
Yeah.
It would certainly explain the widespread nature of sightings, not just in Minnesota, but across North America.
Right.
And think about the ecological implications. A large, undiscovered primate would be a monumental scientific discovery.
Totally.
It would rewrite our understanding of biology and evolution.
Yeah.
And it would raise so many questions.
Yeah.
How have they managed to remain hidden for so long? What are their social structures like? What do they eat?
Wow. A whole undiscovered species right under our noses. I mean, it sounds crazy, but at the same time, a part of me wants to believe it's possible.
That's the beauty of this mystery, isn't it?
Yeah.
It keeps us questioning, keeps us exploring.
Yeah.
Keeps us looking a little closer at the shadows as we wander through the woods.
You know, all this talk about Bigfoot has me thinking, maybe it's not just about finding a creature in the woods.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about something deeper, something about our relationship with the unknown.
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot legend taps into our fascination with the wild, with the possibility that something extraordinary might be hiding just beyond our sight.
And maybe, just maybe, that's part of the appeal. The not knowing.
Yeah.
The possibility, the thrill of the chase.
Right.
It's a reminder that there's still wonder and mystery to be found in the world, if we're willing to look for it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're back.
Back for more Bigfoot.
Yes, back for more Bigfoot.
All right.
This is the final stretch of our Bigfoot deep dive.
Can you believe it?
I know. We've gone from ancient legends to modern-day encounters, explored the science, the skepticism, and the sheer thrill of the mystery.
It's been a wild ride.
It really has.
And what's really striking is how this legend has gone beyond the forests of Minnesota.
Oh, absolutely.
Bigfoot has become a global phenomenon, inspiring documentaries, TV shows, even podcasts like ours.
It's true. Remember that news segment we talked about?
Yeah.
The one from that local Minnesota station. They did a whole piece on Reamer and how the town has embraced the Bigfoot legend.
Oh, right.
They even interviewed Abe Del Rio.
Oh, cool.
The founder of the MNDRT.
That segment is a perfect example of how a local story can capture national, even international attention.
Right.
It speaks to the power of mystery and the allure of the unknown. People are fascinated by the idea that something extraordinary might be out there, hidden in plain sight.
And it's not just the mainstream media that's captivated by Bigfoot.
Oh, not at all.
There's a whole subculture out there.
Oh, yeah.
With online forums, blogs, podcasts, all dedicated to sharing theories, experiences, and research.
Right.
It's like a global community united by their fascination with this creature.
It's amazing how a shared interest can connect people from all walks of life.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's a reminder that legends aren't just stories.
Right.
They have the power to bring people together, to spark curiosity, and to challenge our understanding of the world.
You know, something we haven't touched on much is the human element of this whole thing.
Oh, right.
It's easy to get caught up in the footprints and the blurry photos.
Yeah.
But at the heart of this mystery are the people who claim to have encountered Bigfoot.
Think back to Sam Cleveland's story.
Yeah.
The fear he experienced, the adrenaline rush, the sense of awe and disbelief.
Totally.
Those are powerful emotions, and they speak to the very core of what makes this legend so captivating.
His story, and others like it, remind us that legends aren't just abstract ideas.
Right.
They're rooted in real experiences, real emotions, and they have a real impact on the people who live with them.
And that impact goes beyond individual encounters.
Right.
It shapes communities, influences tourism, even inspires scientific inquiry.
It really does.
The Bigfoot legend has become woven into the cultural fabric of places like Bremer, Minnesota, and it continues to capture imaginations around the world.
So after all of this, where do we stand? Have we solved the mystery of Bigfoot?
Well, the question of whether Bigfoot truly exists remains unanswered,
Yeah,
but perhaps that's okay.
right.
Maybe the mystery itself is part of the allure.
You know what? I think you're right.
Yeah.
The not knowing, the possibility, the continued search for answers, those are the things that keep the legend alive
Right.
and keep us coming back for more.
And maybe, just maybe, someday we'll have that definitive proof. A clear photograph, a DNA sample, something undeniable.
Right.
But until then, we'll continue to explore, to investigate, to listen to the stories,
Yeah.
and to wonder what might be lurking out there in the shadows.
And hey, if you're ever in Minnesota, maybe take a walk in the woods, keep your eyes peeled.
Right.
Who knows, you might just have your own encounter with the legend of Bigfoot.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yeah.
and keep the spirit of adventure alive.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll see you on the next one.